Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. Parks and Rec for July 14th at 6:30. And please disclose any pecuniary interest at the appropriate time. We'll go to correspondence. We've got I think everybody can see it there. We've got a nice thank you card from Libro for our community garden. And I don't know if Teresa wants to make any comments on that.
Yeah. So we've been working really close, specifically with Debbie Penner from Libro in Watford, and it's really their initiative that they brought forward to us. Like it was this past March, and we've had a few iterations of planning due to COVID, so we've had to have some flexibility. But the boxes are planted. And staff have been maintaining. It's a green space for the township to maintain anyways. And so it's a partnership. We provided some soil and watering, which we water anyways. And they did all the planning, provided the plants, and they're doing the weeding. So it's a little bit different than a formal community garden in the sense that they are growing all the vegetables and we'll be donating them to the local food bank. So people have access to fresh vegetables during the summer. So we are just waiting. We have ordered a park bench that a sponsor has gladly sponsored for this project. And there will be a sign going up also.
Great. Excellent. We'll keep moving on then. And no delegations tonight, so we'll move to new business. To the Parks and Rec update for the 14th of July. And I'll hand
Thank you,
Teresa.
Yep. So you'll see there's a lot of COVID information. So basically, while we were preparing the step 2 plans, it was announced that we were moving into step 3 on Friday, July 16th. So with the step 2 plans, it was really just those that affected directly. So our ball leagues and the gun club. So we worked with them specifically with reopening under step 2. And we're now working under step 3 as we start to open up things more for this Friday. And above and beyond this, Lambton Public Health also has given us a guideline as to what the capacity means. So there's a definition for us to work from. So we're working with the groups on that, and also events. So for example, Corn Fest, we'll be working with them on the new revised restrictions through step 3. And it's been good because we've had a surge of rentals over this past week or so, especially since they announced. But still, unfortunately, we can't predict the future. So as we've done previously, rentals that are in the future, we give them the current guidelines and then, point out that this could very well change in the future. So yeah, so it's been good. A lot of change going on and a lot of things happening in Parks and Rec. Continue.
Yeah, continue on. That's great.
And I'll just paraphrase the community arena report. This report went to council, and so due to COVID, there is a shortage on materials, specifically steel. So our substantial completion for the arena renovations has been pushed back to the end of September. So we are working with, is it in the Brooke Elvinston, on a partnership whereby they would put their ice in early for this year and this year only to accommodate Watford community rentals. And we're working with the contractor to be able to start making ice by October 3rd, so that by Thanksgiving weekend, the Tuesday after the Thanksgiving Monday, our rentals will come back. We still may and very well may be in a modified usage at that point as we're finishing things up, but we'll definitely be able to work on it because we'll have 3 existing dressing rooms and the flex space. So there may be some jigging around on things, but we're prepared to deal with that. And we're just waiting. We believe we should hear from the Fair Board formally shortly. Okay, with regards to the halls are all open. So the current restrictions are 5 people in total. So the only customer that really affected was the gun club. So the gun club went back into action last Monday, but this changes on Friday. And we're dealing with them now until I get the reopening plan completed on a rental by rental basis. I'm working with them through all of the information, because it's based on percentage, or it could be the full number, full capacity, provided they could still maintain space. I'm not quite sure how that would happen. But anyways, it's good news. So our halls are opening, and we are getting bookings. I should comment though that the arena hall is still closed until construction ends, or major substantial completion is over. The parks and downtown area. So previous to my starting, there was an agreement in place with Lambton County Development Services. And this agreement was for sidewalk cleaning on Wednesdays. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, which were much higher for the ministry that Development Services fell under, we could not engage in a contract last year. So I reached out to them again this year, and with things opening up, we have established a 3-month agreement. So they started July 7th, and they're going through till the end of September. So, and I believe the rain date is the Thursday. So we do understand that if there's inclement weather, they may not be able to complete the work. But basically, the township supplies the bags and so on and so forth, and the employees are helping out with downtown, cleaning it up. So I'm excited to be back in that partnership. It was very exciting. The ballparks, the protective netting at the new ball diamond has been completed in Watford, and we did choose to add 20 feet to that. We had far too much for Warwick Diamond. So if you have a chance to see it, it actually wraps right around to almost like the east side. We did, however, run into an issue with Hydro 1 and the Warwick Ballpark. The netting and the poles are too close to the hydro poles and lines, as well as the current fencing and light standard. So we did have a site meeting regarding that, and it's currently being reviewed, and Hydro 1 is coming back to us with some solutions that we had discussed. So I'm just waiting for that information, and then we'll have an idea of how we can move forward. Okay. I was able to, with regards to the concession, I was trying to find a quote with the same units that we're using in the new hall and the outdoor kitchen, and was able to secure a quote for that company. And it's a one-stop shop, so they are managing the whole project through me, which means I'm not having to go and do the electrical and do the millwork or the roofing. So it's one total project. We have started the project, and it started with the cleaning and painting by Parks and Rec staff. So that's all been completed, and things have been pulled out. We just had a site meeting another site meeting to finalize electrical work that needs to be done. Everything is custom, so it's already underway to be made, or it was already in progress, and part of it's already done. Just have to follow up with concession. They gave me a great plan with what receptacles I used before, but I need to drill it down more and get the amps and voltage for each of the appliances and everything that they have in there. So we're looking that we should be done by the end of July, but we're also working on a modified concession plan. I didn't realize last year that they have an extension cord that they can actually cook outside. So I'm just making sure that we meet all public health and fire safety regulations. And that's an option for them, is to be able to barbecue and cook with their deep fryers outside. So stay tuned.
If you don't
And
wanna-
unfortunately, this week, sorry, we did have return to ball on July 7th. Our first game was rained out. The league started back up this week. So Monday and Wednesday is in Warwick, the 2-pitch, and 2-pitch is in Watford on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And unfortunately, our first Tuesday was canceled due to field conditions. So we haven't had much luck. Sorry, it's not funny, but I just, so we haven't had much luck so far, but we are moving forward.
Who's your supplier, Teresa, for the kitchen equipment and stuff there?
It's all custom made.
Okay.
The majority,
company.
the company is a custom metal company that's doing a lot of the work, but then the hood is coming, I believe it's a hood, or the fire suppression system is coming from London Fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I believe that's correct.
Yep.
So we are forging on with baseball and hoping to get this all settled. And hopefully we'll have some good weather. Unfortunately, it calls for rain for the rest of the week. But there's next week and the week after. So we're going to keep forging ahead. Watford Library and the Watford Museum, formerly the Watford Fire Hall, the engineers' assessments are still under review. Those were additional projects for Parks and Recreation. Our new project, which is, I need to change that to the East Lambton Community Complex. We can formally announce it. It has been announced at council, but thanks to Councillor Morris representing the Township of Warwick at the official government announcement on, it was a Zoom YouTube press conference. Our project received $23,300 from FCM for half of the feasibility study costs. So we're excited about that. And we're now in the process still of investigating the capital grant process also. And it's capital loan grant. And I should also mention too, that I forgot to put this in here, that we applied for another government grant, which is the GICB grant. It was due July 6th, and we had it submitted in prior to that. And it's quite a large amount if we are successful. And I will bring more details about that grant back when we hear more on it. But as we said before, we're always continuing to look for those types of funds. And again, because of materials and delay, our substantial completion is mid-October for the arena part, and for the additional community complex, probably more like June of 2022. And I'd just like to stress that because I think some people they're seeing the new construction and assuming that it's all going to be completed at the same time. And we're having some folks being a little stressed, thinking there won't be an arena hockey season, skating season whatsoever. And that's not the case. They've always been staged that the arena renovations will be completed as a priority. So I just truly wanted to stress that part. Very excited for the campaign that on June 14th, Rhonda and George Null were announced as the Capital Campaign co-chairs. Still in the process of recruitment of the campaign team members. I am a bit behind, but working forward on that, as well as campaign materials. And I think once everything gets ready, people will be pretty excited when they get to see the stuff that's coming out. And I thought, I don't know, pictures are 1,000 words. It's hard to see because the construction photo was taken from the second floor of the arena. So there is a screen there, but I do take photos about once a week so that I can see the progression also. And this is actually the Y that you're looking at. The closest foundation to us is the Y area. So it may not look that way, but a lot has been done since the week before when I had taken another picture. So it's exciting to watch it unfold, like literally. I'll continue on with our update on the Parks, Recreation, Tourism, and Culture Master Plan development, which all of you were a part of through interviews. So staff did meet with Monteith Brown, and it was the interim sort of consultation on findings so far, and they're now writing the report. It is all on schedule and is anticipated that council will get the report in September of this year through a presentation from Monteith Brown for consideration and approval. So lots has been done on that. It's exciting. Really good conversations, really good feedback from the community. So very, very exciting. Staff, we did recruit 3 summer students. Their first day was today. I'm not ready yet to, as much as they were working today and it's a small community, I still haven't done the staff announcement because it was really quick from our posting, interview, hire, and starting. It was basically like 3 days, not the posting part, but 3 days for the rest of it. So we're very excited to have welcomed 3 students on board, and they, in their letter of offer, will be working till September 5th. And then returning to school. So hopefully this year will be a somewhat normal or expected school experience for our students. Yeah, so very exciting. And they were all new students this year. So we've seen a turnover of students that have now graduated and moved on to other things in their life. And we are in the process of recruiting a Parks and Recreation and Facilities assistant. It's a full-time position and it's been posted since end of June. And it closes next week on July 22nd. And then we'll be following up with interviews, and that position will work directly with the manager Parks and Recreation, so myself, in the arena, which we've still got to kind of figure out, but very, very thrilled to have someone coming on board.
Martina?
Is that a new position or a replacement position?
Amanda, do you want to answer that one?
Sure. It's a new position with the Township of Warwick. So we were served in part by administrative services from the office to support Parks and Recreation programs and activities. But given increased workload, building, fundraising, and another of competing administrative authorities, Council has approved the addition of the new full-time position to our staff complement, which we are very excited about.
Thanks. I've just had a couple of people ask and I didn't know the answer. So
Thanks, Amanda. Would you like me to continue?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And last but not least, programs and events. I did meet with the Cornfest committee last Thursday night, and they are moving ahead with Cornfest this year, which is exciting. It'll be the first time. It still has to be modified to fit the current COVID restrictions. And so right now we're going to be going by whatever the restrictions are for July 16th. But if that gets changed, then we'll have to obviously revamp. But it's exciting for me because I got to kind of be on the Cornfest committee. And it's the first time outside of takeout events that will have an in-person event since I started, I believe. So, because I hear all about these great events and I'm like, but I haven't had the privileges of experiencing them yet because they've all been drive-through takeout events, which have been phenomenal and very successful. But yeah, so congratulations to the service clubs and the committee for getting this off, because it's really a like 4 or 5 week turnaround for them to get it organized. So it's a lot on their plate. And we did organize a stay-at-home drive-in fireworks on July 3rd. Fireworks were amazing, but I have to say I was probably aired a lot on the side of caution because of COVID restrictions, just concerned about numbers coming down. And so I did have it monitored. I had 2 households from the community on the west side of Watford, you know, giving me feedback beforehand. And unfortunately, they could hear them really well, but they could only see the finale, which was our largest part. It was beautiful. So, but yeah, it was a learning experience, and it was great. The Watford Fire Department was on by in case of a fire, and they were phenomenal. So I thank them very much for all their help. And I thought that was last. Under other, I know Councillor Morris will be very excited about this one, so I put a picture in. Painting of parking lot lines at Memorial Park and completing the Watford Fire Hall parking lot has been completed. And the Watford Fire Hall was behind the businesses. So we had that staked off early in the morning, so they were able to get in there and do the lines there. So yeah, it looks good. I don't know if you've had a chance to drive by yet. Yeah, it looks good.
Did they paint the other end of the walkway too?
No, we didn't at this point, but they'll be coming back.
Yeah,
Like,
that was where
in the cul-de-sac.
yeah.
Yeah, no, not at this point. But we'll look at it for next year because there will be probably some painting needed. Because we probably will have to dig up some areas for service connections for the new hall. So yeah, so we'll evaluate what needs to be done. And if you don't mind reminding me of that area too, definitely. Actually, I'll add it to my list too. And that's all I had for tonight.
Great. Thank you, Teresa. That's great. Can we move on to the minutes of the last meeting and ask that Martina? Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a question. I've had a few people ask if there's going to be T-ball in either Watford or Warwick this summer.
That's a good question. It is on my list, and I will be bringing something back to Amanda next week. I have to be honest, and I apologize to Amanda because I didn't realize it was part of my responsibility to run that. But in hindsight, I remember Maddie talking about it like a year ago, March. But we weren't prepared to do anything. So on the outset, if we're able to pull it together, it'd be probably 5 weeks long, 5 or 6 weeks. I think that like the month of August is what I'm looking at.
Great. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? And can I get a mover and a seconder for that? Wayne?
Councillor White, sorry, they're just for information as an
Oh, you've
attachment
already
to
been
the
blessed.
report.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
approved by council, yes.
Yep. All right. Then I guess, is there any new business that we should discuss? Hearing none. Can I get a mover and a seconder for adjournment then? Wayne and Martina. Thank you.
Only one.
Great meeting, and have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you later.
Bye-bye.